Hello and welcome to Expert Talk that comes to you through the courtesy of ThinkSoft Global. Expert Talk is a series of short experience sharing sessions by texting experts in the field of banking and financial services. Have you ever wondered how, on swiping your credit card, in seconds, your card is validated and credit is authorized? It's no walk in the park, though it may well appear to be so. Today, we have Sudhakiran, the principal consultant at ThinkSoft, to talk us through the complex web of tests that are required to ensure a robust credit card processing system. He shares with us his experience with a global client. Over to you, sir.
Performance is the key consideration for cards applications from both issuing and acquiring perspectives. Card schemes envisage 25% to 40% reduction response time before invoking a timeout process. These days, the network response time of card schemes is less than 150 milliseconds, and the effort is to decrease the response time even further to improve the customer experience at the POS terminals. Recently, ThinkSoft was involved in a project for a global leader in payment solutions and card processing. They support card portfolio processing in both licensing and processing modes. The client was to provide card issuing and acquiring processing for a hypermarket chain in South America. We were told to verify if the performance SLAs for the card processing suite were being met.
To start with, there were multiple challenges and complexities. The portfolio consisted of several kinds of cards, private label cards and scheme-branded hybrid cards. The transactions involved two domestic networks and MasterCard. There were 11 types of transactions, including complex installments schemes. We would have to conduct performance testing of issuer, acquirer, and authorization modules for both online transactions as well as batch processing. There were 25 kinds of online transactions within the application through the web, such as merchant search, card enquiry, and so on. There were 22 different web service APIs and authorizations through networks. The batch processing involved 25 batch threads, and it was necessary to carry out the prerequisites to measure the performance of each thread. It involved creating the requisite volume of accounts, transactions data, and history. For testing purposes, we had to initially populate 2 million accounts and 2,900 merchants, and subsequently 8.5 million accounts with a minimum of 6 months transaction history data. For creation of bulk accounts, we had to use XML bridge files. We were advised to look into the possibility of using open source tools to optimize costs.
ThinkSoft advised that the testing should be done in a phased manner. We also suggested a comprehensive workload model. The workload model took into account the account transactions, channels, networks, types of transactions, card products, and peak off-peak levels of transaction arrivals. During the testing, there were many challenges. There were compatibility issues with the open source tools intended to be used. We discovered that some of the open source tools would not work in the environment. We could not bring in alternative solutions because the InfoSec clearance for those open source tools were not available. All the patches in the production environment had not yet been transferred to the performance test environment. The major challenge was to obtain the clear PIN for the millions of cards. ThinkSoft decided to obtain the clear PIN through an in-house tool using the test keys for encryption. A basket of open source and proprietary tools, including JMeter, OpenSTA, LoadRunner, Wireshark, Cacti, and Ethereal, were deployed for data generation, load injection, and performance monitoring. ThinkSoft's significant contribution was to enhance the performance of the application. Our testing revealed that certain transactions were not conforming to the SLAs and required fine-tuning. There were bottlenecks in the processing of the XML bridge file for account creation and card creation, especially when the numbers increased. The ThinkSoft team identified the specific SQL statement which was at the root of this issue. Fine-tuning of the queries was carried out subsequently. This resulted in a dramatic improvement in the performance of the application. When 20,000 accounts were added through the XML bridge file, the application was 3.7 times faster than before. There were several other benefits to the client as well. The ThinkSoft team unearthed functional defects in the application. There was substantial cost optimization due to the usage of open source tools. The charges for the proprietary tool LoadRunner was on a per usage basis instead of the client having to purchase the tool. The client is very happy with the work done so far, and the phase 2 is now in progress. As we speak, the team has been successful in adding 8.5 million accounts to the database.
Precision, flexibility, integrity, reliability, consistency and accuracy, that's all second nature to ThinkSoft, the testing specialist. Come what may, you heard it from an expert. They make it all hang together flawlessly. Reassuring, isn't it? Well, that's all for now. Thank you. See you next time.